big, big land, the way up north they say, where the summer sun shines 24 hours a day. Well, I've heard a lot of said about the land up there, where the northern lights dance and play, about the wide open country and the spaces that they were, way up Alaska way. So I took a little run, way up Alaska way. And I staked a little claim when I'm mucking in the sand and clay. Well, I dug into the ground just looking for the ore, and I'm hoping I'd be rich every day. Then I finally found the gold that I was looking for, way up Alaska way. There is beauty in the land, from the thunder to the sea, and the deep blue sky every day. And the mountains are the biggest and the wind blows free, way up Alaska way. Well, I met a pretty girl, way up Alaska way. And we built a little cabin, and I know we're here to stay. We found a little valley where the grass grows high, where the tall timbers wave and sway, where the mighty mountain peaks are reaching high into the sky, way up Alaska way. There's a big, big land way up north, they say, where the mountains meet the sky, way up Alaska way. Well, I know a lot is said about the land up here, where the northern lights dance and play, about the wide open country on the last frontier, way up Alaska way. There's beauty in the land, from the thunder to the sea, and the deep blue sky every day. And the mountains are the biggest and the wind blows free, way up Alaska way, way up Alaska way, way up Alaska way.
It was just before dawn when I saw it. It came to me in a dream. A spruce-covered hillside, a little log cabin, not far from a high mountain stream. The breeze had the scent of wild roses. The ground was all covered with moss. There the birds ate out of my hand, and the art of living not lost. I found my dream in Alaska. I'll be there when it thaws in the spring to relax with nature's creations. That's why this is the song that I sing. Give me the breeze through the trees by a high mountain stream. It's my dream. Away from the strife of the big city life, not a care, way out there. That's where the wildlife trails wind. That's where I get peace of mind. No frustrated throng singing phony love songs night and day. Give me a shady nook by a high mountain brook. It's my dream. It's supreme. The moon and the stars that shine from above shine down on the things that I love. When it's raining or snowing and a toddy I'm having, I'll be snug as a bug in my little log cabin. Give me the breeze through the trees by a high mountain stream. It's my dream. A shady nook by a high mountain brook. It's my dream, my dream.
From the shores of the Atlantic to Alaska's Bering Sea, through the tundra of the Arctic, there's a country wild and free. While here there lies a mystery that many men will tell. Linger and you're sure to fall a victim of her spell. Oh, give me that far Northland. They say there is gold in her sand. She's got more than yellow gold in her heart that she'll hold. Northland in this far Northland. Now some folks like the city and some the prairie wide. There's some that like the ocean or the rolling countryside. There's some that like to gamble where the racing derbies run. There's some that like the challenge in the land of the midnight sun. Oh, give me that far Northland. They say there is gold in the sand. She's got more than yellow gold in her heart that she'll hold. Northland in this far Northland. I see a starry sky, and the northern lights are whispering as they go dancing by. They tell me that the time will come when all the world will know she's got more than yellow gold and more than ice and snow. Oh, give me that far Northland. They say there is gold in the sand. She's got more than yellow gold in her heart, but she'll hold Northland in this far Northland.
second to second, the phone lines are filled with conversations of life, sometimes with conversations of life and health. So accidentally cutting the phone line is like cutting someone's lifeline. Before you dig up the ground, dig up this number, 452-2200.
The Russian Orthodox Church has been living on Alaska soil for nearly 200 years. Little flowers must be reborn each year. Providing for their colorful return requires a bit of care to ensure fall bulbs bring spring flowers.
Jackie Lawrenson is a member of the Juneau Garden Club. She is recognized as a master gardener by the Cooperative Extension Service. She is both a lecturer and a columnist on gardening in Southeast. I asked her what the key to a nice garden is.
The most important part of any garden is the soil. That's your basic building material. And we have basically 3 kinds of soils in Juneau. And what you're apt to find if you live in the valley is this kind of clay, silty clay. And you can tell if you have clay, it'll roll into a ball, and there it is, and it won't drain. You might have a gravelly, sandy stuff if you've built right on the subsoil. And this has absolutely no nutrient value at all. The clay has nutrients, doesn't drain. This drains, but there's nothing in it for the plants to eat. If you're built on what was forested land, you're apt to have this very rich, peaty soil. It's good soil, lots of nutrients, but it's very acid, and again, it won't drain. So you have to add things. You can mix them together in different quantities. You may have to add peat moss, which you can purchase. Ideally, you're going to end up with something that has a good, what they call a tithe to it, or tith to it. It crumbles nicely in your hands, it drains well, and it's a good ratio of organic stuff like the peat or this forest loam and the stuff that drains, which is the sand. So you just go for a good mix of good draining things, granular things, and then the things that have the nutrients in it. When you're planting bulbs, you try to go for a natural effect, and you get that effect not by lining up tulips or daffodils in little rows like soldiers. That looks pretty artificial. You want to get a natural effect, and to do that, you can take the bulbs and just toss them out with your hands. Just let them fall randomly, and always plant a mass of color. Bulbs look very silly, one here, one there. You don't get a very good, massive, impressive effect. Plant at least 10 or 12 bulbs together, and of the crocus, plant 20 or 30 together in a sweep or a drift. Dig your hole and put daffodils and tulips, go down, 6 to 8 inches, even a little deeper for tulips. Dig a nice hole so you kind of loosen the soil, not just the width of the hole. That's why I don't like those bulb planters. They just dig a little narrow tunnel. Loosen up that soil pretty good to the right depth. Before you plant the bulb, take a handful of steamed bone meal, or I use good fertilizer, 10-20-10 for our poor soils. Just mix a couple little tablespoons down in there, work it around, and then set the bulb root side down, obviously, pointed side up for daffodils and tulips. Set it down in there, and then very gently, making sure you don't tip the bulb over. Cover that up and just pack it lightly. And notice this soil is going to drain well. It does have quite a bit of gravel in it, but you need that. Bulbs will not tolerate a wet soil. Another good place to plant bulbs is in a rock garden. Many of the things that bloom in a rock garden, such as the primroses and other alpines, do bloom in the spring. About the same time the bulbs will bloom, so you have a nice combination of spring blooming plants. Now, after the bulbs are done blooming, you need to leave the foliage on the plant, and it does get to look pretty ratty, but what is happening is that the leaves of the daffodils and the tulips and the other bulbs are making food that is going down the leaf and into the bulb, and what that does is make food for the bulb to use next year when it blooms. So you have to leave those leaves on, and you can plant over the top of them with various things, and I'll talk about that later. But once these are done making food, they'll start to shrivel and turn yellow. And that's the time when you can cut them off. Just hold them up and snip them off at the ground level. Don't cut them off before they've turned brown and shriveled up, because you will essentially be cutting off, you'll be cutting off the blooms that you would have next year. Now, this will leave some pretty bare places in your garden unless you have planted over the top of them with other things. And some of the things that you can use to fill in the bare places that were occupied by the flowering bulbs are annuals. If you want to do the simplest thing, take a package of nasturtium seeds, sprinkle nasturtium seeds around and poke them in the ground, and they will grow and cover up what was a blooming bulb area that's now a bare spot in your garden. Other plants that you can use are the annuals, such as the alyssum. They're low growing and they don't put down a very long root, so they won't interfere with the bulbs. Another thing you can do is plant bulbs among sedum, ground cover of this type. The bulbs will come up through the sedum early in the spring and be tall. Once the leaves start to die back, you can pull the leaves kind of under and tuck them under the sedum. The sedum will be by that time starting to grow and will cover over those unsightly leaves as they ripen. So there are lots of things you can use to plant over the top of the bulbs once they're stopped blooming, and that will cover up those unsightly places in your garden.
If you have trouble finding a wide enough selection of bulbs in Juneau, a number of catalogs are available. But be certain that you select varieties proven to do well in our climate.
The bulb varieties that do best here really are tulips, daffodils, the little grape hyacinth, the little small blue ones, and crocuses. And when you go to buy these bulbs locally, you need to look for healthy bulbs, because occasionally you will come across some bulbs that just aren't in good condition. When you look for a healthy bulb, I'm going to show an onion simply because it is a bulb, and you can grow allium here, which is a flowering onion. But this onion shows what you look for when you buy bulbs. This is a mold on here, and it can be this gray-blue or sometimes tan. Don't buy a bulb that's moldy. That's an unhealthy bulb. Don't buy a bulb that's completely dried out and crumbly. It's no longer living. Don't buy a bulb that has any obvious bruises, and don't buy a bulb that has mushy spots. You pick out a bulb basically the way you'd pick out an onion or a potato or any kind of a root vegetable. I think people should plant bulbs because we have so many gray days in the spring, and if you get your bulbs in the ground and you get some color in the early spring, it gives you the enthusiasm and kind of the hope to get out there and plant the garden for the rest of the year.
Information about gardening in Southeast is available through the Cooperative Extension Service in Juneau. You can visit their office in the Federal Building or call 586-7102. Their mail address in Juneau is Box 109, zip code 99802.
Satin I Yuchatangi Yan Shutan Itundatani Tlek Na Uhan Yehayati Hashuka Hus Ha'id Idashi Jagu Yach Uhan Yeyati Hashaganya Hus Ha'inch Inasti Yadu Uhan Wehakustiye Yadu Uhan Wehakustiye Hashaganya Hus Ha'inch Inasti Jagu Yach Uhan Yeyati Hashuka Hus Ha'id Idashi Tlek Na Uhan Yehayati Yanshutan Itundatani Satin I Yuchatangi Hathith Guhas Dujineyi Guhas Dujineyi Satin I Yuchatangi Yanshutan Itundatani Tlek Na Uhan Yehayati Hashukahas Ha'id Idashi Jagu Yach Uhan Yeyati Hashaganyahas Ha'inch Inasti Yadu Uhan Wehakustiye Yadu Uhan Wehakustiye Hashaganya Hus Ha'inch Inasti Jagu Yach Uhan Yeyati Hashukahas Ha'id Idashi Tlek Na Uhan Yehayati Yanshutan Itundatani Satin I Yuchatangi Hathith Guhas Dujineyi
What has come over you? Oh, man Carver, what has come over you? The old man by the river, carving nature by his hand. The sun shines a young boy watch his hand. He's a carver that is living today, trying to make his living this way.
All right, everybody in the studio, let's go for take one on the Cook's Corner Truffles commercial. Camera looks good. Joe, reposition that one truffle there. Meg, can we put a filter on that key light? And we want to check the audio level on the announcer voiceover. Okay, we really want to make them run right over to Cook's Corner, folks. Here we go. Hey, what's going on out there? Hey, I'm trying to produce a truffle commercial and you people are eating the props. What kind of
delicious truffles at Cook's Corner. They're irresistible.
Well, hey, leave one for me anyway.
You're going to want to check it before you actually go up to the fire. So you pull the pin out, just like this. You can check the gauge, make sure that the gauge isn't all the way down, it's up, so we got plenty of pressure. The bottom part of this is the handle, the top part is the trigger. So I can hold it like this and it's not going to squirt, but once I push this down, it's going to squirt. So then what we'll do is we'll test it to make sure it works. And we know it works. Now we're ready to go fight the fire, okay? And
teaching fire prevention is a big part of the job for firefighters, like demonstrating how to properly use a fire extinguisher.
Remember, we want to test it first, make sure it works. Push the trigger down hard. Okay, now we make sure it works. Gonna stay low. Come in and start squirting it from right here, okay? Start pushing down the trigger from right here. All the way down, real hard. Okay, come in closer, back and forth, lean right at the base. Right at the base. There we go. All right. Yeah, good job.
To keep their proficiency, firefighters have to keep practicing what they preach. One way to test their skill level is through competition, like the one held among the different Juneau fire departments at the William Haggevig Regional Fire Training Center. One event was timed races for putting on the self-contained breathing apparatus.
Get set, go! Go first! Come on, first!
Okay.
Do you know how long you did it in?
I don't know, but I know that nobody was saying way to go, Vern, so I figured the other guy must have won.
There's 4 events. One is the make and break, and it's a relay race. It's not like the one that you normally see us run on the 4th of July in Douglas. It's a relay race, 3-man team, and you run down the hose, and you couple the hose, and you couple the nozzle, and then you run back uncoupling it, and then you tag off to your team member who does the same. 3 people do that, and then the race is over.
The point of what's going on today?
Just to bring everybody together, all 5 fire departments throughout Juneau, to bring a little bit of competition, but and all just to have fun and get involved in the camaraderie that goes on within the volunteer fire departments, and get to know your other fire departments a little bit better. We have new volunteers every year, so it's kind of fun to get to know these other new volunteers as they come into the ranks and work their way up.
Well, how seriously does everyone take this competition?
Well, it's pretty serious. You know, we're quiet here and everything, but it's bragging rights for a year.
Another event is the ladder race. Each 4-person team runs the ladder to the building, raises it, ties it off, and then holds it while one person climbs to the top and rings the bell. Again, the fastest time among the teams is the winner.
We're behind, remember? Go. Go, Charles, go! Go, 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 Charles, go! Go, Charles, go! Bingo.
Well, what makes the difference between the team that wins and the other 3 in this competition? You're all doing fast.
I think practice, whoever practiced the most.
Get on your mark, get set, go!
Yeah. Go, 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 go!
The fire extinguisher race, and you get two people running side by side, and they got their own barrel to put out, and that's kind of a fun one. A little bit of smoke there.
Does this make better firefighters going through this kind of thing?
Well, yes, it does, because as in last year when the Glacier Volunteer Fire Department, before we came, we practiced for 3 months. And we swept a competition. We won't do that this year, of course. We'll probably be lucky to get third. But we swept it, and we practiced, several times a week. Raising the ladder, bringing it back down, raising the ladder, bringing it back down, putting out the fires, putting the couplings together, and it just makes us go quicker when the real thing comes.
Come on, Brian. You're looking good. Come on, Brian. You got him. You got him.
This week on Rain Country, we've been watching firefighters play at their work. And we'll work to be back again here at the same time next week with another edition of Rain Country. Hopefully you'll join us then. I'm Scott Foster. Have a good day.